Getting ready to go live on my radio show. Starting the show off with John Stringer. Right now. Welcome to love. Okay, let me stop. No, I love myself enough to do that. Okay, wait. I can't even hear my host. Oh, my producer. That's not going to be funny. Sorry, you can't hear the song now. And we are here. Yes. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, and good day to you. Wherever you are in the world right now at this very moment in time. Thank you for tuning into yourself first and then tuning into the... Oh, wait, I had myself muted. Thank you, Scott. So let's start that again. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, and good day to you. Wherever you are in the world, whatever's going on, whether the world could hear your voice or not, maybe you're speaking up loud enough, or maybe you're speaking kind of quiet, maybe you're muted, all is well. Thank you for tuning into yourself first, and then tuning into the Ade Show on 12 Radio. I am your host, the transformational agent, Ade. And I am here to support you in changing the way you dance with life and the way you create your reality. How are you creating your reality? You know, it's really up to you, right? You can do whatever the flip you want. And since you can do whatever the flip you want, you might as well do it the way you want it to do it, rather than what you think you should do. But sometimes you can actually do it the way you think you're supposed to do it, and it just might work out because you probably will learn something about yourself that you didn't know. So either way, it's a win-win. Because life loves you no matter what. You can't mess up. You can't fail. You can't jack it up. You think you messed it up. And life, it's like, no, you ain't seen nothing yet. I got you, boo. I'm working some things out here. Just let that go and stay present. If you're listening to the show live, thank you. If you're listening to the replay or the on-demand, thank you. Thank you, Scott, for having my back. Thank you for producing the show. It is Transformational Tuesday, May 14th. Time check is 2 after the hour. I am streaming, living, broadcasting on Instagram. So if you want to check me out, Quali is in the house. My soul sister. Nice to see you. Hey. Today's topic, unconditional love. That feels good in my body as I say it. What is unconditional love? Well, let me tell you a little bit about it. So it can get your mind, so you can just get your mind to marinate in this truth that I'm about to drop. Make sure you're picking it up and just sit with it. It's in the writing. Unconditional love is love without conditions. Love without conditions. Doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what you don't do. It doesn't matter if you messed up. It doesn't matter if you flipped up. It doesn't matter if you fill in the blanks. This love will love you no matter what. You can't even stop the flow. You can be ignorant to the flow of it. You can think you're not connected to this thing called love, but it's all around you. It's like air, right? You could cover yourself up, put yourself in a room, suck all the air out, and you're sweating, and you're like, I can't believe I'm going to suffocate and die. Air is still around you. All you have to do is create an opening. A little opening is good enough. Think about it. Can you really imagine yourself being loved for no reason. You just loved just because of who you are. I'm going to stay with that a little bit, because oftentimes when we think of being loved, we attach it to someone, to something, to a certain place. But just the love that doesn't need no bells and whistles, it just loves you. It's like, shh, don't talk about it. But if you want to talk about it, that's good too. But I just love you. Now, if you're thinking about it in the sense of romantic relationship, you probably can't imagine being loved for no reason, which is really the human challenge, right? Because we think in order to be loved, we need somebody else. In order to know love, we need to have something, somebody. But we're so much more than this physical body. You're just like a balloon. Life itself breathes itself into you. So this rubber takes shape and expands. So while life breathes itself into you, you expanded and you continue to expand and continue to expand, because life is continuing to breathe itself into you, and you're breathing and dancing with life. And one day, life keeps breathing and then you pop. The rubber disappears, but air, that breath is still alive. It's still you. So there is a love that loves you no matter what, whether you know it or not, and it doesn't need you to attach it to anybody. You can, but the highest form of love is unconditional love. We're going to talk more about that, what gets in the way. But before I move on, I just want to say a little bit. Didn't we just experience a lot of that this weekend, especially for those in America, where it was Mother's Day in America this past Sunday? It was Mother's Day in the United Kingdom. I think it was towards the end of March, I think. Somewhere around there. Yeah, I think it was the Sunday. Somewhere. Look in the calendar. Google it. But whether it was March, maybe whether it was today, maybe it's tomorrow, maybe. Truth is, mothers worth celebrating every day, all the time. If you disagree, that's fine. So I'm just going to wish all the mothers Happy Mother's Day. Why you got your face like that? What? Oh, because you don't have children? No. You're still a mother. Stop it. Stop. Happy Mother's Day to you too, whether you have children or not. Biological mothers, spiritual mothers, godmothers. We're always birthing something. So anyway, I can go off on a tangent on that, but I won't. But I saw a lot of love shared on social media, how people love their mothers and how grateful they are for their mothers. There were mothers who talked about feeling like they hadn't been the perfect mother and how hard they tried, and they're trying to be better. I saw posts about people saying, well, my relationship with my mother was never a great one. In fact, I judged her. But then when I became a mother, I was able to see things differently. I've seen posts that said my mother chose to go to see her boyfriend instead of come visit me. I can't believe my mother would do that, but I still love her. True freedom is learning to love somebody, even if you don't like their behavior. It's not far-fetched. It is quite simple. And it's a choice. We may tell ourselves it's easier said than done. Yeah, well, maybe it is easier said than done. That's why it's called a spiritual practice. You keep practicing on a daily basis. So if you want to know unconditional love, if you want to be love, if you want to be love or be loved, beloved, you have to be love. And the love is already there. You just have to remove all the drama and the stories and the thoughts and the illusions that just get in the way of you being loved. How you doing, Pat? Nice to see you. Anyway, you see, I'm all excited about love. I love talking about love. Love is my thing. Let me invite you to the chat room if you don't know how to get there. Go to 12radio.com. Top left, click on chat. and that will bring you in. Now you do need to have a Facebook account. If you don't have it, you can't get in. If you want to get in, get a Facebook account. If you don't really care, don't get one. If you'd rather not come in the chat room, don't come. It's fine. We're talking about love. Wherever you are, love is. So I'm connected to you, you're connected to me. It's fun in the chat room, but you have a choice. So if you're coming into the chat room, click on chat on 12 Radio link. And then, what do you do? I don't remember. Oh yeah, you click and wait. You at the park. Go ahead. That's what I'm talking about. This early morning? Yes, you didn't turn that place around. Pat on Instagram telling me she's at the park. What time is it over there? It's 9 o'clock where she is. I think you're in Texas, right? Yeah, take me to the park and put it on speakerphone. Get one of those Bluetooth speakers and just blast it. And when you do that, let me know so I can call them out. The chat room is a closed group, which means whatever you post in the chat room. I am a mess. That's right. I am a mess. That's why I can stand up and say I am a messenger. Because it's all about embracing your mess. It's all about unconditional love. When you embrace your mess, you can see. Those of you on Instagram would see me. Embrace your mess. Just hug your mess. Like, oh my God, you stink. I don't want you in my life, but you have taught me so much. You've taught me how to use deodorant. And then you're free. You can be the messenger of life. So again, chat room is a closed group. Whatever you post in there will not show up on your timeline. And simply be responsible for what you do share in there. And for those who are in the chat room, nice to see you. Melissa is in the house. Quali is multitasking. She's in social media. She's in Facebook and Instagram. Every kiss begins with K. I can't help it. I can't help it. Renee, nice to see you. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Kai is in the house. Nice to see you. Eva, Ever, nice to see you. Melissa. I feel like I want to sing a song that has Melissa in it, but I have no song in my head that has Melissa in it. Is there a song with your name in it, Melissa? I bet there is. I could Google it, but I won't. I refuse to do that. All right, Pat, you have it now. You said you're going to have a Bluetooth speaker next week at the park, okay? So we're going to call people out. We're going to spread love all around. My sister is she's on in Instagram, should I say. On Instagram? In Instagram? I guess she's on it. I don't know. But you know what I mean. Shoyinka. She said, shh, I am Bebo Love. She said, breathe in, breathe out, love. Okay, got it. Let's see. What else do I want to talk about in here before I move on? Oh, the silent listeners. We can't leave the silent listeners out. Okay, Pat, you got it. We got a bet. All right? Pinky. You can see my little finger. I have 6 fingers. Did I tell you guys that? Both fingers. There you go. If you're on Instagram, you can see my other finger. But they were so afraid when I was born, they didn't want it to grow because they were protecting me right here. That little thing. If they didn't tie a little thread to it, it would have grown out. And I really would, you guys would know that I'm an alien. Silent listeners, thank you for tuning in. Jackie, if you're up, good morning. Michelle and Tonya, thank you all. Check out my website, lifecoachade.com, lifecoachade.com. That's coming up. New podcast. What else? Pulled by Vision Tele Summit. So much happening. I'll be updating my website. I will share it with you at the perfect time. But what I will be sharing with you right now is Daily Thoughts. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Daily Thoughts from the Hill. What is Daily Thoughts from the Hill, you say? Well, Daily Thoughts from the Hill. Why am I talking like this? It's just what I do. I don't know. I never know when it's going to happen. Yeah. So I'm going to read Daily Thoughts, but I want to say, Pat said this makes me extra special. That's right. Super special, actually. Extra super special. How many of y'all have 6 fingers? None of you. So don't even try and be like me. I am. Okay, stop it. Okay, I'm going to daily thoughts. I am getting. What is it? I'm smelling myself right now. You know why I'm smelling myself? Today's daily thought is the reason why. Tuesday, May 14th, 2019. Life is good. So you might as well go ahead and smell yourself. Oh, God, help me. All right. I'm trying to contain myself. All right. I am a mess. All right. Life is good. Period. The word good does not even capture how good life really is. To have a direct experience of this goodness requires a shift in how we think about what we have accepted to be real. The key is an open heart. With an open heart, we welcome life in a new way. Scriptures in the Bible, scripture teaches us that eyes have not seen, ears have not heard what God has prepared for those who love. Ooh, that makes me feel good. I am the embodiment of God's good. Goodness is in and around me. Every day I wake up with a deeper availability for goodness to flow through my work, relationships, thoughts, and words. I deliberately look for good wherever I am. And I always find the most amazing goodness reflected everywhere. I feel safe and secure. My life is good and very good. Thank you, power in me, through me, as me, around me, through the Christ within, and so it is. The Lord, which is the law. The Lord is the law, Law, the law of life. The Lord is good to all, and his tender mercies are over all his servants. Psalm 145:9. The Lord is the law of life. The law that is guiding your every step, your every action. So don't get caught up in the words. Go deep down, get the metaphysical meaning, and you will realize that every religion, though sometimes is interpreted wrongly, let me say it this way, not wrongly. Sometimes the interpretation is misguided. Folks are just using words that's part of their culture, part of their understanding. I don't know, but I'm doing all of this. See, I used to do my show without streaming live, so I do all this movement. My hands are everywhere. Those of you who are on Instagram can see me just being a whole all over the place. But anyway, that's Daily Thoughts from the Hill, published by Hillside International Truth Center, written by yours truly. Let me post that in the trap room. Yeah, let's go in the trap room. Chris, that's funny. Armpit awareness. I know that's right. Yeah, somebody needs to take a shower. Nah, I always smell good. Whether I haven't taken a shower in 2 days, I smell good because I'm extra special. I told you. Okay. Let me calm myself down. Hey, Pam. Nice to see you on Instagram. I am so surprised and happy to see you. Today's conversation is unconditional love. I am a mess. Don't get me started. I'm trying to contain myself, really. Inside, there's a voice saying, okay, calm down. But I can't because I'm full of love. I'm full of myself. Unconditional love is the theme, it's a topic, it's a reminder today. The thing that I know for sure is if you really get still, if you really just surrender, if you just get yourself in a place where you are in stillness, focus on your breath, and allow yourself to just relax. Gently allowing the thoughts to do what thoughts do, They keep thoughting. Just don't worry about the thoughts. You just taking a deep breath, breathe out. Bebo love, as Shoyinka would always say, breathe in, breathe out. Bebo, B-I, breathe in, B-O, breathe out, love. Bebo love. You breathe in, you breathe out. You remember, you remind yourself that you are surrounded by love. That there is no spot where God is not. And if there is no spot where God is not, then there is no spot where love is not. So, to say I'm looking for love, you don't have your eyes open. It's an incorrect statement. Love is everywhere. Love is you. And the spiritual principles, they're so simple that the logical mind just kind of, wait. There's got to be more to it. I've got to be perfect to be loved. I've got to do the right thing. I can't do A, B, C, or else I won't be loved. I have to align with a certain group of people. I have to align with some kind of political party. I have to align. I have to have a certain kind of relationship. All the conditions that we put on love. That's the invitation. We are to release and remove the conditions that we put on love. Yeah, there's a good topic in the chat room. I guess you call it chat room on Instagram, which I address. So I'm going to tie it in, Pam. When we are dealing with challenging experience, sometimes the best we can do, and it's not always easy, but we must learn to just let go, to just take our hands off. And the paradox, this is why we get tripped up. This is why we think spiritual practice is difficult. Oh, I can't meditate. I don't know how to meditate. I don't know how to pray. My affirmation is not working. My vision, we just get so crazy about simple things, about who and what we are. The paradox is what gets us tripped up. That's the word. Yeah, say that slowly. The paradox, the spiritual paradox, is what gets us tripped up. But even while you're tripping, you can trust. So whether you're tripping or trusted, it's all good. So if you could just allow yourself to start with, I am love in action. I am love embodied. And if that doesn't work for you, remind yourself that there is no spot where God is not. Whatever your interpretation of God is, hopefully, your interpretation of God is of a loving presence. Hopefully, your interpretation of God is one that is the ultimate compassion, and he, she always have room in his heart, in her heart, in its heart to welcome you no matter what you've done. So call it God, call it divine, call it source energy, call it the universe. Call it what you will. Call it father. Call it mother. Call it nothing. Call it something. If you can start with the premise that right where I am, God is. So, and there are no mistakes in God. And I am an extension of God. I am an expression of God. I'm a creation. I'm a creation of God. I am God embodied. If you start with that, it changes how you deal with whatever's coming up. Sometimes it's not always easy, but the lesson, if you will, the process is, the growth process is, you just keep moving on. So I was talking about sometimes you gotta let go. Sometimes you gotta hold on. And sometimes you're like, which one is it? Am I supposed to let go or hold on? Whether you hold on or you let go is not so much more important as to your intention. If you're holding on and you're not sure, but your intention is for God, the divine, to change you, to help you see what needs to be seen, to help you in releasing the stories, in helping you in forgiving who you are, in helping you remember your worth, in helping you remembering that you are your value and that you are valuable. If that's your intention, it really doesn't matter much if you're holding on when you should let go or letting go when you should be holding on. Because whether you hold on or you let go, again, is not as important. What is more important is to be different, to be changed. So the comment in the chat room on Instagram is, parenting a preteen is challenging. It is. I always say parenting is the highest form of spiritual practice. Anybody can go to the mountain for 40 days and fast for 40 days. Anybody can do that. Even you. Anybody can do that. But try and raise another human being. Another human being who can walk, who is breathing, who can talk, who can think. And they're yours. And you're trying to mold them into what you think they need. When you remember that there is no spot where God is not, there is no spot where love is not, that even your mistakes will be turned into sacred medicines for growth. Even your mistakes will be used to grow you. And the tug at the heart, the stress, is all part of the growth process. So if we just accept that part of parenting is challenging, that itself is part of the process. The problem is if we think it shouldn't be that way. If you start to think it shouldn't be this way, I love you, you love me, I'm your mother, I'm your father, why you treat me like this? Those are good questions, but they don't mean nothing. It is part of the process. It is part of the process. No matter what you're going through and growing through right now, there is nothing wrong with your life. I have been going through an experience, which I won't go too much into details right now. And there are times when I can just let it be. And let it be. I'm letting myself be with, oh my God, I'm just so caught up and attached to it. And I'm just praying, hoping that it goes the way that I want it to be and turn out. I'm holding on, I'm affirming. And then sometimes I'll just let it be. And then sometimes I'm judging myself for not letting it go. Like, come on, you gotta let it go and let it be what it needs to be. It's a constant thing that I'm dealing with. I think a few days ago, I was all up in it. And I was beating myself up for I was beating myself up for holding on to it while I'm thinking I should let it go. Which is that's just torture. If you are thinking of something that you think you shouldn't be thinking about, just accept yourself. I'm thinking about something I'm supposed to be thinking about. If you're stressed and in a stressful relationship and it's stressful, just say, this is flipping stressful. Okay? We'll use that word. It's flipping stressful. I can't take this anymore. That's one way. Another way in stressful relationships is to be able to bring yourself back. Take a deep breath. If you can remember to breathe in and breathe out, sometimes you just have to stop. You have to force yourself. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it is very hard. Because it's like trying to stop a car, right? Now, if a car is going Abraham uses this analogy. Those of you who know Abraham, if a car is, they use this analogy. If a car is going 40 miles an hour and you try and stop in front of the car and say, I'm going to stop this, good luck. Something's going to be stopped, but it won't be the car. But if you just maybe rolled up in front of your house and it's somewhat leveled and you feel it like moving at almost 0.000 miles an hour. You could quickly just, get in there, put your pressure in there, run in and put the brakes on. There's a difference between the speed. So you're able to control the movement. When you are in the middle of something very stressful, sometimes it's hard to take a deep breath. It's hard to stop and say, okay, I'm going to take, because you're in the midst of it. And they say something that gets you mad and you want to punch back because that's just the nature of things. That's why it's good to do your spiritual practice. It doesn't mean you don't encounter stressful experiences, but it helps you to say, oh, this car is coming at 40 miles an hour. I need to get the hell out of the way. My son is going nuts. My daughter is going nuts. Let me just move out the way. Son, I love you. It hurts me that you see it that way. And I so want to help you, but I just don't have anything right now. It hurts me so much, I just got to back up. I just got to let you be. Yep. Truth. Sometimes that works. Sometimes it doesn't. But you know what? It's not, once again, because we think, maybe it's just me, but maybe there are other people who can relate. We think, I'm trying to say this the right way, because I want to make sure I say it in alignment with what is true for me. Okay, so I'll say it like this. We think we are in control of life. We think the self, with a lowercase s, your ego mind, your five senses, in control. When you do your spiritual practice on a daily basis, when you remind yourself, maybe reading, journaling, whatever you're doing to remind yourself that there is an aspect of you that will not be moved by what's going on in the world of effect, that changes everything. So when the car is coming at 40 miles an hour, when your relationship is coming at you 40, 50, 60 miles an hour, you would tap into deep wisdom without having to think about it. You would know whether to run. You may just say, be still, and the car stops, and people are like, how the flip did that happen? Now, you may say that's unreasonable, but we've also heard stories of mothers who pick up a car when the child is underneath the car. We've heard people do things that the brain can't even understand how that happens. Because there's so much more that's going on in the spiritual realm than we are seeing. So yes, relationship is the highest form of spiritual practice. I want to scroll up here. Yep, that's right. Sacred medicine. Your mistakes will be transformed into sacred medicine for your growth. If you're just joining us, you're listening to the Ade Show on 12Radio, 12radio.com. I am your host, Ade, your transformational agent. We're talking about love. The love that loves for no reason. The love that reminds you that you're worthy. The love that reminds you all you have to do is forgive. Hey, Mama Prenoro Atlanta. Did I get that right? I don't know. I think I jacked it up, but okay. You know what I mean. Forgiveness. Let's talk about that. Oh, Jackie is in the chat room. Let me read that. And then let's talk about forgiveness. Because that is the doorway. That is what opens the door. That's what cleans your vision. To see that love is here all along. Jackie said, Happy Tuesday. Hooray for Ade. The love spreader, making all things better. Oh my God, I love it. Jackie always comes in here every show and drop a little nugget of that in here. Happy Tuesday and hooray for Ade. The love spreader, making all things better. Ooh. I'm done. I'm done with the show. I'm happy. No. Of course not. So forgiveness. Let's talk about forgiveness. Talking about challenging relationships, allowing ourselves to accept that there is a love that loves us for no reason. There's a saying in the New Thought community: God can only do for you what God can do through you. Chew on that. God can only do for you what God can do through you. Love can only do for you what love can do through you. There is no spot where God is not. There is no spot where love is not. But if we are not open to it, then we don't get to experience the fullness of the unconditional love that's here. You can call it grace. You can call it compassion. You can call it acceptance. It's here. But there are times when we hold on to so much about what happened or what didn't happen or what should have happened. And we're looking for someone to be punished. We're looking for the person to be punished, convincing ourselves that if the person is punished, then we will feel better. Maybe. Well, if the person is punished and your life revolves around, it's a good thing that they're punished, and that's all you can think of about that experience, I think there's a higher choice. Now, you may find that works for you. Keep doing what you're doing. The higher choice is freeing yourself from the experience. So forgiveness is less about the wrong that was done to you. It's more about forgiving the person for the wrong that they did. Forgiving the person for the wrong that they did doesn't mean you're saying, I'm going to be what's that phrase? I'm going to be the higher, I can't remember, some phrase that I don't use. I'm going to take the high road. I think that's what it is. I'm going to take the high road and forgive them. Like, okay, yeah, I'm just going to be the better one. In being the better one, you're still creating separation. In love, there is no separation. So if your way of being is about separation, then you are not in the fullness of love. Love is about oneness. So back to forgiveness. You're not necessarily forgiving the wrong they did. You're forgiving the person for the wrong they did to you. And true forgiveness is self-forgiveness. Self-forgiveness means they don't have to deserve it. If you say, well, they don't deserve it, then you're bound by that undeserving love, that undeserving mentality, that undeserving thought that they don't deserve to be forgiven. You're bound by it. When you forgive, self-forgiveness, what you're really doing is you're changing your relationship to what happened. You're changing your relationship energetically to the person. You're setting yourself free. When you're holding on to unforgiveness, you block yourself. You create stress in your body. You create stress in your mind. You create stress in your spirit. You want to know what kind of stress you're causing when you refuse to forgive? When you're holding grudges? Here's a little example. Hold your breath. Hold your breath right now. Don't breathe. I was going to say for the rest of the show, but, I know you can do it for the rest of the show, but don't do it for the rest of the show, okay? Just do it for 5 minutes. Just stop breathing. For 5 minutes. Okay. Hold your breath for 2 minutes. But if you could do 2 minutes very easy, then do it for 3. Or do it for 4. Just hold your breath. Okay? Keep holding. There will come a point First of all, you're thinking, okay, this dude is crazy. And there will come a point where your body's like, hell, we're holding breath. I need to breathe. Your body will push back. You would explode. You explode. When you hold grudges, the same thing is happening inside of you. You're uptight like God knows what. Holding grudges doesn't hurt the other person. It hurts you. When you forgive, you are changing your relationship to what happened. Of course, there is that other thing where people say, well, if I forgive, can I forget? Well, if you're asking that question, you haven't completely forgiven. And that's fine, because forgiveness is not a one-time thing. It's not a one-time thing. It's an ongoing process. It's an ongoing process. And the goal is you get to a point where you're no longer interested, concerned about whether you forget or not. Well, but if I forget, then they could do it again. Well, you still haven't forgiven completely. You're still on guard. You don't trust the power of love to protect you. We all do. We all know the power of love. We all know how powerful love is. And it's a daily experience. Just because you had a powerful love experience yesterday doesn't mean, well, that's enough. That's it. You're complete. There's always another reason to set yourself free. When we spend time attacking other people, you're really attacking yourself. I want to read something from The 12 Steps of Forgiveness. I love this book by Paul Ferrini. Paul, P-A-U-L, Ferrini, F-E-R-R-I-N-I. And this is the chapter on release, self-judgment, and guilt. Becoming conscious of our attack, we see the cause behind it. We see our own fears, our deep-seated judgments and feelings of inadequacy. We see our deep call for love. That is essential. We cannot begin to forgive ourselves until we realize that all of our darkness is a call for light. And all of our anger and hurt is a call for love. We need to acknowledge this, or we will take our awareness and use it to beat ourselves. You use your own awareness to beat yourself up. And you also use that same awareness to beat others up, to project what you don't accept about yourself, what you can't be with, you project to other people. When you create a space in your own heart, in your own mind, to look at your own attack, the people you're judging, whether you have evidence for the evil that they're doing or not, if you could just sit with it and get very conscious about what you're saying, like, wow, what's the root of this? You will realize that you're projecting your own self-attack. And that's not to be judged. It's just simply recognize. When we recognize it, and we become aware of it, it's like, oh, yeah. I've shared this story many, many years ago. Well, this experience, because I don't remember the story particularly, but I'm just reminded right now of the experience. There was, my brother was, I think he still is though. My brother is one of my spiritual teachers. And I remember many, many years ago, he did something, and oh my God, I was just full of judgment about what he did and how he did it. and why he was just so wrong and so mean. And I was milking it. Well, as a true student, as someone who is committed to living the spiritual truth as a way of life, I had to get to a point where I said, okay, settle down. What's really going on here? And what happened for me was I realized what I was judging about him, I have done before. I've done it before. I've done it to others. Then I realized, oh, wait a minute. No, actually, I didn't realize nothing. Just realized that I've done it to others was good enough. And in that moment, compassion came rushing in. In that moment, I was able to have compassion for myself. I was able to free him. I was able to free myself from judging him. I was able to set him free. Because the same thing that I judged about him, it could be what somebody else loved about him. So we experience the world based on our own perception. Your life, your current life, look at what you're dealing with right now, what you're going through and growing through, is a reflection of your own perception, is a reflection of your consciousness, is a reflection of what you believe, what you don't believe. So if you look out in the world and there are things you do not like, there are things that you hate, there are things you wish shouldn't happen, and you want to be the agent of love, clear that up within yourself. Clear it up within yourself. Because you're either adding love, you're either adding judgment to what you're seeing, you're either adding more judgment to what you're seeing, judgment into the world, or you are a channel for love to rush through. And this applies for every and anything. Spiritual truth is simple. Spiritual principles, universal spiritual principles, they're simple. All they're looking for, they're not really looking, but we'll say that. Spiritual laws, spiritual principles are just looking for an opening. Will you be made whole? Will you be loved? Will you be the peace that is needed? Will you be the one that brings about the solution? Are you going to spend your time talking about what they're doing and why it's so wrong and it's unacceptable and we don't want this to happen? If you don't want it to happen, you clearly know what you want to happen. Why not spend more time focusing on what you want to happen? If you spend more time focusing on what you want to happen, being the birther of what you want to see, they won't matter to you anymore, or you bring the balance. And the other people who were saying, I don't understand why it's like this, because we're living that life right now. We're living that time right now where there's so much going on. Where people are putting their energy on one man or one woman here. Like they don't know what they're doing. I can't believe what they're doing. Yes, we must do something about that. But when your heart is pure, you can download powerful action steps. I listen to some of the politicians, the Democrats. Yes, I'm going there. And they talk about, because this applies to every area of life. They're talking about, we got to get Trump out of White House. Okay, then what? What we're going through is so big. It's so much more than that. It's bigger than Trump. It's bigger than Democrats. It's bigger than Republicans. It's bigger than the Conservative in UK. It's bigger than Labour and Brexit. It's something more. People are looking for belonging. There is something that's happening, that's calling. I want to know who I am. I want my tribe. Well, actually, it's not even one of my tribe. Most of the time, we're looking for tribes because we think alone we are different. We don't belong. So we're looking for people who can identify with us, who can believe the things we believe. But when we start, if we can start with the foundation that I am loved no matter what, and it's a daily thing. I don't know about you, but for me it is. It's a daily thing. You must bring yourself back into that center of love, because it's so easy to forget. Turn on the TV one time and you forget who you are. I laugh when people say, well, you need more than love in a relationship. Well, you don't know what love is. Love is all there is. Now, I get if people are just talking about a romantic love. Yeah, of course. Romantic love, that's just the watered down version of pure unconditional love. And don't even tell yourself, I can't do it. No, that's not me. You lying. You're lying. If you're listening to the conversation or you're part of the conversation, it is you. It is you. And the more we can welcome our broken places, our broken stories, the more we are comfortable in inviting things that happened in our life in the past, and we can bring it to this present moment and cry and hurt and be in pain if that's what's necessary to just be with it. The more we can do that, the more we can do that for others. It's really simple, but of course the five senses, logical mind is like, no, it's not that easy. Right now, your ego mind is probably fighting stuff I'm saying. It's like, yeah, he don't understand. Well, whatever your mind is saying, if it's saying it. Something about your ego mind. Your ego likes to take credit. Your ego would take credit for your success. Look what I did. Yep, I did that. And if you mess up, your ego would take credit for your failure. So you could tell what's happening if you're doing something and seeing how you're being with it. If you're looking for people to notice you, then you know what's happening. But if you're doing it because that's what's best for you to do, that's the best and highest, then so be it. Yeah, it's good to be affirmed, acknowledged. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I will say that we're now living in a time where it's time to make the spiritual principles even more real. Make peace be real. If you will, make unconditional love sexy again. You do it by being a living embodiment of it. Sometimes it may mean you just don't say anything. Sometimes it means you need to speak up. Unconditional love is about acceptance. Accepting all of it. Even what happened to you in the past that you don't like. All right, just had a thing going. Even things that happened to you that you don't like. Accept it. Recognize that it has taught you something. Everything that you go through and grow through will teach you something. And true spiritual growth is not how much you've collected intellectually. It's more how much have you released. Look at children, babies. Babies don't cry and say, Mom, I need to meditate and remind myself that I'm pure love. You see babies you've never seen in your life and you're like, oh my God, they're so beautiful. Sometimes we're lying. I look at that head on that baby. But more than what they look like, yeah, I'm a mess. More than what they look like, we can feel something so pure about them. So forgiveness is releasing all the stuff, all the impurities in your own perception, so you can see your own beauty, so you can see your own divinity. So where you create a space where unconditional love is a way of life. And even when you mess up, you can accept that. And even if you can't accept that you messed up, you can accept that. Even if you can't forgive people who hurt you, you can accept that. When you accept that you can't forgive, That's part of the healing. It's time to get out of here. I want you to know that I love you. I bless you. I appreciate you. And I thank God for you. Go forth, release yourself, forgive yourself, and create a new reality. Thank you, Scott, for producing the show. Thank you, listeners. Those of you online, those of you those of you who are not in the chat room, thank you. Those of you who are in the chat room, thank you. Those of you on IG, thank you. And those of you on YouTube, because this is going to make it on YouTube. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you. Peace and blessings. Thanks.